Super. Okay, girlfriend, let me get the juice going here. Just a sec.
Bring the magic on.
Bring the magic on, baby.
Awesome.
Yo, everybody. It is coffee talk. Well, today it's cacao talk with Coach K every Tuesday night at 17 bells European time. And tonight we have a juicy topic. We have a magical, juicy topic. And you know what? I don't even know where this is going to go, but I'm so excited about it. Why am I excited? Because I have Aneta here with me. Aneta is from Poland, from Sopot, Poland. I said it right. She's my European sister. And Aneta is a sensual empowerment coach. And she'll explain more exactly what that is. And we're going to get into how Aneta, why is she doing what she's doing, how she got there herself, and anything else she wants to share. And I invite you, anyone that's watching, to, as we go, post any questions, because I'm going to be having us on, I'm going to see us streaming live, so you can put questions there. If they pop into your head, please, please, please. That keeps it juicier as well. So we're going to dive in. Aneta, I know you are so passionate about this topic. Aneta has really influenced me as someone who is more in their masculine, with a masculine type of job and in the fitness industry, and push and push. And as an athlete, I do remember when I transitioned more into working with my feminine, because I was so leading with that masculine energy. And I remember the transition of it. And I noticed that there's such a power when you are in this flow of feminine energy. Of course, we can't be all one or all the other. It's a beautiful union, as you say. So how can we balance ourselves so we have the best of both worlds? And yeah, I have lots of questions, but let's go with that. Maybe tell us first a little bit of background, and then go into that on how do we balance, what are these feminine, masculine energies, and how do they connect together?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, thank you for having me here, and I'm really, really grateful for sharing that space with you. And yeah, so I would like to start with saying a little bit what feminine, masculine energy is, because not everybody's familiar with this concept. And also, when I say feminine or masculine, I don't mean female or male. And whether you are in male or female body, this concept is important for everyone. And we all have masculine and feminine energies within us. For example, feminine energy is our intuition, is our connection to self and others and nature, is our ability to receive. And creativity, feminine energy is very, very creative. She brings vision into life or projects, business, art. And masculine energy actually is logic, reasoning. He brings this concept of the feminine into life. He takes actions on the vision that the feminine has. And also he also holds space for feminine to be fully expressed. So feminine is expression and masculine is awareness. And he's being witness to that all the juicy, feminine, flowing feelings. So for example, feminine is really in touch with her feelings, and she's riding waves of these emotional states, from like being in so much joy, happiness, love, but also sadness and grief. She doesn't resent any of the feelings. She's willing to feel it all.
Mm.
But also when she's swimming and riding this wave, she's witnessing the wave. And that's masculine. He's witnessing.
Mm.
Yeah. And so for me, it is important to get these two balanced. And when I say balance, I don't mean that this ever will be perfect. We all have one dominant energy that is stronger than the other.
Yeah.
But it's maybe not path of perfection, but it is a path of wholeness, of being whole and getting these two energies to talk to each other and
And
work together.
we go through phases, right? Some phases are times of action and
Yeah.
let's get this done. And there's other phases where it's okay. I need to allow now, or I need to sit with this. We go through different waves. So it's not just that they're balanced as we go through life. It's just sometimes it's more here and sometimes it's more here. Is that kind of?
Yeah, I would say it is healthy when we are aware which of our energy is our predominant. For example, I'm I'm very much in my feminine. But also I've been on all the spectrums of this whole picture. I had unhealthy masculine develop within me. I was in unhealthy feminine, and that brought so much suffering into my life. I wasn't able to take action because I didn't trust my inner masculine. And when I was in my unhealthy feminine, I was in a victim mode. I was wanting to manipulate and control things. So yeah, the first thing is awareness, being aware, knowing which one is our predominant energy, and then we can work with this too, because it is so important that we are working on the balance.
Yeah.
Because anything that we push into the subconscious, it drives our life in unhealthy way.
Yeah.
So if, for example, I say I'm feminine woman and I don't embody my masculine, I push him away, then I create suffering in my life. Then I'm unable to take actions, and I just sit back, and I'm so in touch with my feelings, and I've got so many visions that I want to bring into life, but I don't take any actions. And the same for the masculine. When they do not allow the feminine to come online, they suffering because they don't allow their emotions to be expressed. They suppress the anger, and then that creates lots of imbalance in life, in business, and relationships as well.
So when it's more all masculine, it's more of a drive forward, a push forward. And I think when we're always like that, there comes a time when it's like, okay, hello, where something forces you to let go. And
Yeah.
that's that feminine voice saying, hello, you need to hold back, whether it be through burnout or whatever, right? Unsuppressed,
Yeah.
unfelt feelings and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So the masculine always wants to achieve more and be on the go, and follow his goals and bring the vision that feminine has into action. But when he doesn't truly listen to her, then he burns out, then he's bitter, then his body is just tired, and the feminine is like, you need to listen to me, you have to slow down and take a breath.
There's so many places, there's so many questions here. One thing, because we're in the same coaching container, and we were talking about the other week on within our group actions we want to take, and some of us were very much, let's just commit and let's go and let's do this thing. And Aneta was, no, I want to be in my flow. I want to do it when I'm in my flow, and then it's authentic. And sometimes it can be hard to find the balance, because when it's a project or when it's a challenge, I'm like, let's go, let's do 50 days. I'm in, and I'll do it whether I'm flow or not. But I find sometimes that can backfire, and I can do it also inauthentically. And sometimes it doesn't, there's a lack of fulfillment when at the end of it, when I've just done it to do it. You know what I mean? And I haven't connected with that flow. So it's like finding, how do we find that the dance between both of them, where I can commit to this thing, yet I still want to do it in flow. Like there's the mixture, you know?
Yeah. So for me, the way I found is working the best for me is to just be in my flow, but also to be aware of my structure. So I have a structure that I follow every day, but when I don't, I'm not feeling guilty of it. And when I feel like, okay, instead of like doing my reach outs right now or anything else, I want to go for a walk in nature and listen to a podcast, or or I get invited to, like, as I told you, to a party, and then I go to this party and I connect with people, and that's how I get how I got my workshop, which is relevant to the work that I do, but completely out of like my daily schedule, right? I wouldn't have written my schedule like go to like some different kind of events and talk with people, and that's how you get like your invitations. So yeah, this is just the inner knowing that I follow, and it works for me so beautifully because every time I do it, the work is being done and I don't feel burnt out, and everything what flows through me is authentic. But I also do have the structure and I don't always like to follow it, but just I'm committed to it because the masculine energy is commitment, and I follow the calling of the masculine too. So the best way to like find your own way is to just get these two energies talk to each other. So for example, you might sit down and have a pillow in front of you and speak from your feminine side and express what feminine wants to manifest. For example, you can say like, listen, I'm so burnt out, I've been working so much, I need to rest, I need to slow down, but I also have to I also want to have my goals accomplished, but I just want to feel more joy and I want to play more. Please tell me how to do it. And then you switch places. You sit on the pillow and then you talk to the feminine. Okay, I get you. This is so much that you are taking on right now. These are steps that you need to take. So feminine is the vision and masculine is the action.
Okay. So you literally have to make this two sides and speak.
Yeah.
Kind of like when your ego's trying to pull you back, you can also talk to the small self in that sense. I see you, I hear you.
Yeah.
But F you. No, no. But I'm going this way. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you, someone that's very masculine, or I know it's not masculine in the masculine sense, but very much in that energy. And they're really sort of caught up more in that energy. What's the best way for them? I know it's individual, but to tap into that, to have the more of that flow. That someone that's a type A, someone that's, you know, working 60, 70 hours a week, that's performing, that's doing this many jobs. And how can someone get out of the hamster wheel when it's going 100 miles an hour
Yeah.
and say, okay, with all this going on around me,
Mhm.
how do I get into that flow and that feel my feminine when I'm constantly performing?
Yeah.
You
Um, that's a good question. So I would say that to this person who's so good at bringing their masculine online, commit to feeling, because masculine is commitment. He's good at committing. And when I say his, I also might speak to you, Carrie, to your masculine, right?
Yeah.
So take your masculine who's very committed to your goals to commit to feelings, and create a daily practice in which you will just sit and feel your feelings to begin with.
Mhm.
And at first it might feel strange because when you are on the go all the time, you are not used to
Mhm.
taking a moment to feel and just breathe into that feelings. Doesn't matter if that's this feeling of joy, of love, excitement. Just commit to witnessing all of that is alive in you. You know, feminine is alive. Feminine is creative life force energy. So I would start with just observing and feeling her, and then breathing and moving. And if there is like a resistance coming up, you can also breathe into the resistance and start moving. Maybe put your favorite music on. Also touch yourself gently. Touch is very, very important in this practice, in the self-pleasure practice as well, when you bring your masculine and feminine in the union, literally. So yeah, take your masculine and commit to feeling your feminine.
Well, it's funny you say that because I've talked about it with my own coach, this very thing on how I'll make these commitments. And she says, well, what about 50 days of self-pleasure? What about 50 days? Woo, man. What about 50
Bring it on,
days,
girl.
50 days of like self-love practices, whether it be,
Yeah.
and when she said that, I do have self-love practices, but I wouldn't have taken a bubble bath or like, number one, we don't have a bath, but those things, but dance, I love dancing, but it's not so
There you
typical.
go.
I go with the girls to the dance floor, that's fun, but I just don't think of it too much right here in, you know, you're right here in the house, though my partner, he cooks for me every day. And he's got the music blaring and he's dancing as he's cooking.
Maybe you would like to join him, for example.
He's it's funny because he's a military man, but he's very connected to his feminine energy because he's very expressive, vulnerable. But he's cranky and tough, but he also has the other side. So I very see it in him. And I notice very much in myself when I'm in the doing.
Yeah.
But feeling the feminine back, it's so powerful. It's such a this sexual energy can move mountains. The soft power, as you say.
Yeah.
Can you give us an example of like a client or someone that's come to you with a certain issue or like a typical issue, and what has been their journey and what have you seen happen in the end? Or it doesn't have to be a client, it can be someone that an example of someone that was very feminine went to masculine, or you know what I mean? Someone that transitioned.
Yeah, sure. It's just one thing that I want to speak to before we move on.
Yes.
about like embodying more feminine and having a practice. I know, Carrie, you love hiking in the mountains.
Yeah.
Nature is feminine. Connecting with nature is when our feminine comes online. So just take a moment when you are in the mountains and just be in awe and admire what's around you. That's also a practice to become more feminine and in touch with our feminine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, moving on to the next question. I think I would like to share my own experience because I think it's
Yes, yes, please.
it's really powerful.
Yes.
And so, as I said at the beginning, I had imbalance masculine and feminine energies at different times, but most of my like wounding comes from the masculine. I had really painful relationship with my inner masculine, and I wasn't even aware of it until I started doing my own business. I think business in relationships is like the best mirror for our inner relationship. So I noticed that I wasn't not only taking as many actions as I would like to, but also I was resisting so much to the point that I felt pain, sadness, and grief. So when I dived deep into it, I hired a coach, and also I did lots of like somatic practices on myself, and I noticed that I do not have masculine energy within me at all, and I perceived the masculine as something that's outside me, and I saw him as an ugly, dirty dog, and I didn't want him to get near me at all. I was so afraid of the masculine. It all came from fear.
Masculine energy. The
Yeah.
masculine energy. Okay.
Yeah, so when I was doing the practice, when I was like feeling into the masculine, I felt so much fear, and I just didn't want him to come near me because I perceived him as as a villain, as you know, as something that is dirty, and and I didn't want this energy to be near me, and all of course that manifested in me attracting toxic relationships, attracting men who were cheating on me, who were non-committal, and who were not treating me very, very well, even though I was like, you know, so much in my light feminine, full of love, and I thought I was, you know, I was a good person to be with, and still I was encountering this assholes. So then I began to heal my relationship with the masculine, and there's so much more to just, you know, balancing our inner masculine and feminine energies within. It's actually a lot of healing that is happening when you start doing this work. And for me, it was about healing my relationship with my father, because of course our mother and father is like the first masculine and feminine figure in our life. And unless we had like conscious, loving parents who gave us lots of space and love and presence during our upbringing, we will have masculine and feminine roots that will show up later on in our life, and most likely in our relationships. So by healing these wounds, we are healing our traumas that we had in the past. We are healing our relationship with our parents. We are healing relationship we have within ourselves, because how you can create really beautiful, healthy, and juicy relationship with another when you haven't healed yourself, when you are lacking these qualities within yourself, then you're just creating from the place of lack, right? So yeah, and I feel like now for the first time really happy within myself, and I have daily practices to cultivate my feminine and masculine relationship. I get them to talk to each other when I walk on the beach or in my meditations. I have my self-pleasure practice, and where I bring these two energies together. It's not only me wanting to experience pleasure, it's conscious practice of bringing these two, and it doesn't always mean masturbation as many people might think.
Yeah.
It's all about feeling yourself and witnessing everything that is alive in you, even anger, sadness. Yeah, it's just feeling all. So yeah, I think it's really important, and that's why I'm so passionate about it, because it's not only, you know, that cool thing that we can do. It's not just a cool practice that can help us to achieve our goals and bring our vision into reality, or just feel more creative and relaxed within our bodies, but it's also a deep healing that is of benefit of ourselves, our relationships, and the entire planet, I would say, because when you are in this place of fulfillment, you radiate love, you want to serve with open hearts, you've got more empathy for other people around you. And yeah, if everyone been in this, juicy inner relationship, can you imagine how the world would look
Yeah.
like?
When you have
Yeah,
the juice plus the passion and
yeah,
you're going after it too. So the nice blend of
yeah,
both.
yeah,
You can
yeah.
move mountains, baby. Wow.
Oh yeah. And also when you are in a relationship, like when your partner doesn't have all that pressure to fulfill your needs,
Yeah.
to make you happy and to fulfill your personal and sexual desires, that's so much easier. If it's not on them, it's on you. But when you both like create this balance within your relationship, then you have like a more of foursome rather than twosome. So there are two healthy energies in each person, and yeah, it's just more powerful and juicy and beautiful.
So if someone comes
Mm.
to you and then I want to mention here what someone else is writing. But if someone comes to you and you want to shift them more into their feminine energy or more into their masculine,
Mhm.
do you get them to do daily practices? So like where it's what they're not used to. So if I'm not more masculine, I have my practice that would be most beneficial to me would be a self-love commitment.
Mhm.
Because those other things I know I'm going to do, but the one I'm not used to, and it's the same thing for when you flip it, and then to rewire what's going on in their body, correct?
Yeah.
And after they do that a number of times, then they can start to shift it and blend them both, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah, exactly.
those feelings are not, it's not that easy. It takes a decision and determination when you're feeling that anger or whatever to go have a bubble bath. I'd rather go for a run up the mountain than a bubble. You know what I mean? But it takes a decision beforehand
Yeah.
to say this is now my focus.
Yeah, definitely. And it takes a lot of courage, I would say, as well, because um, we're not in society in general, we're not used to feeling,
Yeah,
and the feminine is most likely suppressed. This ability to feel emotions is not perceived very well.
yeah,
Um, so it takes a lot of courage, and I think you must be ready. For me, it was like a whole journey from like not feeling at all, being numb in my body,
hmm,
through feeling pain and rage and anger and all of that, to then bliss and pleasure and love. Because when you actually, that's a trick, and I think this is really beautiful about the whole thing, is that when you create more capacity in your body to experience and feel pain, when you're willing to like really feel those unpleasant feelings, then you create more capacity in your body to feel pleasure and all the juicy feelings. It's not like, okay, I'm gonna feel pleasure all the time because this is cool.
Yeah.
No, we are all humans, and when you suppress one, then you suppress the other automatically as well.
Wow, that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
So we got to allow them all in.
Oh yeah.
All the juicy ones too.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to read a little bit of the comments here.
Yeah, sure.
As a woman child born, living no space for my twin brother in the womb of my mother. As my son doing the same, the opposite way. It is an open talk between us. I am a masculine woman and he is a feminine boy. It is so important to not make it a taboo.
Yeah.
It's not only about men and women's sexuality.
Yeah.
I believe the earlier mentioned in life, the better. I hope this helps others.
Definitely.
Just like you said, it's not male, female, it's just the energy.
Exactly.
It's a deep subject. We have more hormones or testosterone inside us as men or women. The best is a great balance. Took me years to find out and accept mine. My sexuality has improved with it.
Yeah.
Yes, so much stuff.
Beautiful.
Is there anything else that you want to add here that you've been burning to add? Anything else that comes to your mind before we wrap up, Aneta?
No, unless there are some questions.
There's just the comments, but I think one thing as far as the feminine, what I find in a man, I find it the most, when I connect with a man that's fully embodies both sides, that's the most powerful, sexy man.
Yeah.
That where I see kind of both. He's the listener. He not afraid to show the feelings. Yet he's that man still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you have the blend of both, wow, that's a package.
Definitely.
Powerful. And I think.
And also, yeah, when a man is able to receive your love, receive your emotions.
Yeah.
I think this is really sexy.
Sexy, baby. Anyhow, my dear Aneta, thank you for your wisdom.
Thank you. Thank you for having
your words and your lesson. And if anyone has any other comments or questions here, we'll make sure Aneta gets them answered. Thanks for joining in for Coffee Talk with Coach K and Aneta. And just make sure you blend in a mixture of it all. So let's finish it off with a little bit of play. We can't go to those dance floors with the big disco balls out there, but we can bring them in here.
You could have brought your disco ball.
Anyhow, my friends, love you all. Love you, Aneta. Thanks.
Love you so much. Thank you. Take care.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Mwah.
Bye.
Yes, I like your.